Alright, welcome to lesson 12. In lesson 12, we basically use reasonableness in order to determine where to place our decimal point. Question 1. In question 1, it says 2 1/10 times 3. Now, what we talked about in class today is whether this problem is 21 times 3, 2.1 times 3, or 0.21 times 3. The product is all going to have the same digits. It's just where you place the decimal point will make the difference. So, in order to make this easier on ourselves, we're just going to choose to use the algebraic expression that does not have a decimal point. Now, whether we want to do partial product, like so, or we want to do an area model, that's up to you. It's your personal preference on what works best for you. I'm going to demonstrate both of them on this first one, and then after that I'm probably going to stick to the partial product. So in the partial product, I have 3 times 1, which gives me 3, and I'm just going to write out to the side where I'm getting them. And the next one is 3 times 20, which gives me 60. And then we add them both together and we get 63. So we know our answers are going to have the digit 63 in it. Now, if I was to use the area model, since it has 2 place values, I would separate it. And I know I have 20 and 1 and 3. 3 times 20 gives me 60. 3 times 1 gives me 3. 60 plus 3 equals 63. Same answer, both strategies. So, now we know that the answer is going to have 63 in it. Now we're going to use our reasonableness to determine where we're going to put our decimal point. Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to use an estimation of 2 1/10 times 3. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to eliminate the decimal again. But this time, what we're going to do is we're going to round it to the nearest whole number. And since it's 2 1/10, we know the question is it 2 or 3? And right in the center is 2 5/10. Well, 2 1/10 would be right down here, so we'd end up rounding to 2. So our estimation would be 2 times 3 equals 6. Well, if we know 2 times 3 equals 6, we know 2 1/10 times 3 has to be approximately 6. So if we look at our choices, we have 63 hundredths, which is not close to 6. We have 6 3/10, which is close to 6. We have 63, which is 10 times greater than 6. And we have 630, which is 100 times greater. So the only answer that was reasonable would be 6 3/10. So we put our decimal place right between the two. Question B, we're going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to stick with partial product. This time I'm going to use 427 times 6. And we go, this is 7 times 6, which we know is 42. Our next one we have 20 times 6, which is 120. And then we have 400 times 6, which I know 6 times 4 is 24 times 100 gives me 2400. But now when we add them up, we can see we have 2,560. So I know our answer are going to have those digits in it. Now we just got to determine the decimal point again. Or once again, we're going to do our rounding. And we know 4 would be our bottom. 5 would be our possible high end. We have 4 5/10 in the middle. We have 4 2/7, which is going to be approximately down in here. So we're going to round to 4. So now we know 4 times 6 equals 24. Well, I can tell that my answer, in order to be close to 24, is going to have to be right here, 25 62 hundredths. And we can see that is exactly what they chose. Okay, for problem C, we have 7 6 and 53 thousandths. Once again, we're going to eliminate the decimal just to find out what digits are going to be in the answer. We're going to multiply that by 7. And I know 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 5 is 35 plus a 0, so it'll be 350. We have 7 times 0, which is 0. 7 times 6 is 42, and 3 zeros. And we add them up. We have 1, 7, 3, 2, 4. So we know our answer are going to have these digits in them. Now we're going to do our estimation. We're going to take the same problem. We're going to be rounding 6 so that we can have just whole numbers. And we know the question is whether it's 6 or 7. In the middle is 6.5. We have 6 and 53 thousandths is way down here, so it's going to be closer to 6. So now we have 7 times 6, which equals 42. Now, in order for this answer to be reasonable, we'd have to place the decimal right there. And we can see that would be the third answer right here, because 7 times 6 and 53, and it has to be approximately 72. On D, we have 482 when we take the decimal out, times 9. And we got 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 8 is 72 and a 0. 9 times 4 is 36 and 2 zeros. And we add them up. We have 8, 3, 13, carry 1, and 4. So we can see we know our answer are going to have the digits 4, 3, 3, 8. Now we're going to do our estimation of our original problem, which we know we have 4, we have 5 on top, we have 4.5 in the middle. We can see this 482, which is going to be about there, so we're rounding it to 5. So now we can get our estimation. 9 times 5 equals 45. And we know our answer has to be approximately 45. So in order to be reasonable, we'd have to place our decimal right after the 43. And question 2. There's our correct answer. Yi Ting weighs 8.3 kilograms. Her brother is 4 times as heavy as Yi Ting. How much does her older weigh in kilograms? Okay. So the question that's being asked actually is 8.3 times 4. So we're going to take the decimal out and we go 8, 3 times 4. 8 times 3 is 12. 8 times 4 is 32 plus a 0. When we add them up, we know we have the digits 332 in our answer. Now when we do our estimation, we have 8, 9, 8 and 5 tenths. This is 8 and 3 tenths, so we know it's going to be here, so we're going to round it to 8. So we know now that 8 times 4 equals 32. So in order for this to be reasonable, it would have to be 33 and 2 tenths. So Ying's older brother weighs 33.2 kilograms. Okay, Tim is painting his storage shed. He buys 4 gallons of white paint and 3 gallons of blue paint. Each gallon of white paint costs $15.72. Each gallon of blue paint is $21.87. How much will he spend in all? I like using a tape diagram to show what I'm doing. So I know that I'm looking for the total cost here. Now I know the total cost is split up between 2 paints. We have white paint, we have blue paint. Now the white paint says that he buys 4 gallons at $15.72 a gallon. So I know I have 15 72 times 4 gallons. For the blue paint, we have 3 gallons of blue paint, and each gallon costs $21.87. So now first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for white paint. So I'm going to take the decimal out just to find the digits that belong, and I'm going to multiply it out. 4 times 2 is 8. So I got that through the partial product. Next is 4 times 70. Well, I know 4 times 7 is 28 and a 0, so that'd be 280. My next one, I have 4 times 500. I know 4 times 5 is 20 and 2 zeros. The last one is 4 times 1,000. And we know that'd be 4,000. When I add them up, I've got 8, 2, and 6. So I know the cost of this paint is going to be these are the digits that are going to be in it. So now I'm going to do my estimation so I can figure out where to put the decimal point. I know it's either $15 or $16. In the center is $15.5. This is $15.72, so it'll be about here. So I know I'm going to go with 16. So now I have 16 times 4 for my estimation. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 10 is 40, and I have 64. So I know the estimation is going to be $62.88. So I can place that right down here. The last problem is 3 times $21.87. First thing I'm going to do is take out the decimal, 2187, multiplying that times 3. We know the first one is 3 times 7, which is 21. The second we have is 3 times 80. 3 times 8 is 24, and 0 will be 240. The third one is 3 times 100, which we know that would be 300. And our last one is 3 times 2,000, which will be 6,000. When we add them up, we can see we'd have the digit 6561 in our answer. Now we're going to go ahead and do our estimation. And our estimation, we know it's going to be between 21 and 22, with our midpoint being 21.5 tenths. It was 21.87, so we know it's going to be about here, so we're going to round to 22. So our estimation is 22 times 3, and we know that's going to be 6 and 60, so it'll be 66. So our estimation tells us our decimal point has to be right there at 65 and 61 hundredths. So now we can see we have 65 and 61 hundredths, and plus the 62 and 88 cents. To find the total cost, we're going to add these two together. 88 and 65.61, and we have 9, 8, and 16. 8 and 6 is 14. Carry our 1, 5 and 2 is 7, 1 is 8, and the last one is 6 and 6 is 12. So the total cost here was $128.49. Okay, question number 4. A ribbon is sold at 3 yards for $6.33. Jackie bought 24 yards of ribbon for her project. How much did she pay? Okay, well, I like doing tape diagrams so I can keep track of what I'm doing. And I know this total here, that's 24 yards. Now I know 3 times 8 equals 24. So I know I would have to break this ribbon up into 8 pieces. And each one of these pieces would be 3 yards. And I could keep on doing it. Because we know 3 times 8 equals 24. Now the reason I'm doing that, because I know for every 3 yards, it's $6.33. $6.33. Now I have two options here. One of them I could do repeated addition. I could add all these up. And that would take me a while, and it's very possible that I'd make a small computation error. So I want to know what the total price is here. Now like I said, we could do repeated addition, but another thing for repeated addition is multiplication. So I know if I take $6.33 times 8, it's going to give me how much it costs. Now starting off, I'm just going to do what we've done before. I'm going 633. I'm taking out the decimal point, multiplying it times 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 30, which is 8 times 3 times 10, gives me 240. And now we have 8 times 600, which 8 times 6 is 48 and 2 zeros. Now when I add them up, I've got 4, 6, 8 and 2 is 10, carry 1 and 5. So I know the answer to this are going to have the digits 50, 64. Now I'm going to round and do an estimation. I have my estimation line on the bottom is 6, the top is 7 because I want to get rid of that decimal. This is 6.5. 633 is going to be about there, so I'm rounding to 6. So I know 6 times 8 equals 48. So the only place with the decimal I have this reasonable will be right there to make it $50. So she paid $50, $64.